Good morning, Marshall. I'm Jimmy John Jacob. Thank you for joining us, and let's take a look at our current weather conditions with Michael Hovatter.
Good morning, everyone. Here's your Good Morning Marshall weather forecast. Currently here at Marshall, it is cloudy and 52 degrees with some occasional light rain. These conditions are expected to continue throughout the day, so just make sure you're aware of that and stay tuned for the 7-day forecast for the rest of our local weather.
World-renowned chef Jose Andres is stopping here in Huntington tonight. Andres uses the power of food to respond to global crises. He will share stories from his time working on relief efforts, the importance of community, and how you can change the world one plate at a time. Here are some dates to keep in mind, Marshall family. The Spring 2026 class schedule is out now, so look over it and meet with your advisor ahead of registration opening. Seniors are able to register in November 3rd, juniors on November 4th, sophomores November 6th, and freshmen November 11th. Funkdafest is a staple of the Huntington community, and its 9th year was no different. The Funk came to Ritter Park Amphitheater with the festival spanning 2 days for the first time. The festival included performances from headliners Sneezy and Jocelyn in the Sweet Compression, as well as artists like Maba Beats and Jeremy Short. Music was not all the festival had to offer though. There were local vendors such as the Red Caboose and Appalachia Hooked, as well as fire, flow, and visual artists. Fire artist Annie Wolf says she feels closer to people while performing.
I've always felt like performing was the purest form of communication with human beings, and I always have been kind of socially awkward and pretty anxious, so it felt like a way for me to connect with people on a genuine level.
Organizer Perry Casto was already getting the crowd excited for Funkdafest 10 following the weekend's last performance. We are all trying to have our Marshall moment. Wade Sullivan is showing us how some students are having theirs.
With the stress and rage of preparing for exams hitting students hard and few physical routes on campus to let out those emotions, a mobile rage room coming to campus is just what some students needed.
Well, obviously college is stressful and it is a lot. So when there's all kinds of new activities out here, you always want to go to them. And this was definitely a good one because it's a good rage therapy. You know, you just get to chuck something and it makes you feel a little bit better. So that was definitely good for me.
Nice shot.
While students used the Bash and Smash mobile rage room to get over a multitude of feelings and emotions, Jennifer Wharton, who founded Bash and Smash last year, started the business through a place of pain.
It started in 2024, about 10 days after my brother died. I was at the lowest that I've probably ever been. So I looked at my husband one day and said, I want to start a rage room. And he's like, okay. I don't think he thought I was serious until he comes home and sees me like on the West Virginia business, the state of West Virginia business page, applying for a license.
While you may not be able to see it on every mug, students could choose to write what is bothering them the most in the moment, and they could let all of that emotion out as it shattered on the concrete. With the stress of school hitting everybody really hard, sometimes letting out some rage is the only way to go. Wade Sullivan, Good Morning Marshall.
You can check out Bash and Smash's social media to find out where you can let out some mobile rage. Now, Michael Hovatter joins us with the latest Marshall weather.
Welcome back, everyone, to Good Morning Marshall weather. A cold front to the west and a low pressure system to our south will bring moderate to heavy rain Wednesday through Friday morning. This rain will continue to provide some relief to drought conditions and may cause some localized flash flooding, so make sure you keep an eye out for that and watch out for those big puddles on 3rd Avenue. For the 7-day forecast, the temperature throughout the week and into the weekend will be approximately in the mid-50s during the day and in the low 40s during the night. The weather at the Marshall women's soccer game tomorrow is expected to be rainy and windy. Due to the wet conditions and the windy conditions, the temperature will feel like it is in the upper 30s at the game, so make sure to bring a heavy rain jacket and an umbrella if you plan on attending. Despite the rainy week, on Friday the rain will clear just in time for Halloween. Temperatures during trick-or-treating on Thursday will be in the mid-40s. It will be raining and it will be windy, so don't let the wind blow away your Halloween candy and stay dry. Thank you for tuning in today. Today's weather report. I'm Michael Hovatter here with your Good Morning Marshall weather forecast. Now back to you, Jimmy John.
Thanks, Michael. Now here's Nate Courtney with the sports spiel.
Good morning, Marshall. I'm Nate Courtney, and it's time for this week's Sports Field. This weekend was a productive one for Marshall Athletics, as Marshall men's and women's soccer both played to draws in their matches. Volleyball also kept things even this weekend in the series against Georgia State. But to start off this week's Sports Field, Marshall women's soccer earned the point it needed to secure a spot in the Sun Belt tournament as it drew Coastal Carolina 1-1 at home Friday. This is only the second time and the first time since Marshall joined the Sun Belt in 2022 that it qualifies for the conference tournament. With the draw, Marshall remains undefeated at home this season for the time being. It closes out the regular season tomorrow night at home against Southern Miss. Marshall men's soccer earned a much-needed point in a scoreless draw against Old Dominion on the road Saturday in Norfolk, Virginia. Marshall goalkeeper Eddie DeMarco had a standout performance, stopping all 4 of the Monarchs' shots on target and earning his 4th straight clean sheet. Marshall volleyball split its weekend series against Georgia State on the road in Atlanta. The Thundering Herd took Friday's match 3-1, but fell on Saturday as the Panthers would win in straight sets. That's all the time we have for this week's Sports Field. Back to you, Jimmy John.
Thanks, Nate. Finally today, a break from the stress of midterms. Here's today's Squirrel Cam brought to you by Shane Simmons. Thanks for watching. This show is a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications in the Department of Geography at Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia. Tune in next week at 7 on JMC TV for the latest in Marshall news, sports, and weather. I'm Jimmy John Jacob. Remember, great mornings make great days.